Hey, church family, Pastor Garin here. I hope you're doing well on this Monday. Don't always come on a Monday, but I thought I would today. Mainly we've just been together on a Sunday, and so I give you a little break. But I thought I would come today because today's a special day. As you well know, you're not getting your mail today. Some of your kids aren't in school today. It's Martin Luther King Day. And for the last, since Reagan was president, right, it's been recognized as a federal holiday, which I really appreciate, where we have time to reflect on Dr. King and what he stood for and what he fought for and fought against. And what a man he was. Baptist preacher. I'm proud to say Baptist. I'm not always proud to say someone's a Baptist preacher, but when it comes to Martin Luther King, I really am. And a lot of us know of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech that he gave in 1963, and that's certainly his most famous speech and contribution. Of course, he was known for a lot more than that. Every year on this day, I try to engage some of what he wrote or what he said, either watch a video of him, which I'm so glad those are around, or read, some of the things, I've been to the mountaintop. I usually do I Have a Dream if I watch it with my boys, just because it's not quite as long as some of those others. But today we listened to his I Have a Dream speech, and it's just so beautiful and so poetic. And wow, man, that guy could preach, huh? But one of the things that I really appreciate in his, maybe it wasn't a sermon, I guess it was a speech there on the Capitol lawn, even though he invokes some biblical images in it, is what he talks about, not necessarily at the end, where he talks about he has a dream that his 4 children will live in a country where they're judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. But this, I thought I would share with you, which is a little earlier in that speech. And it's just a short little paragraph here, but listen to what Dr. King says and to listen to what he's trying to drive at here. But there is something I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. Isn't that powerful? And I think back to all of the physical force that was used against him and against those who were in the movement that he stood for back in the late 50s and early 60s, and just what was done to him. And for him to have the capacity to stand up and say, we can't fight fire with fire. I know it was a national movement. It was a civic movement that Dr. King was trying to engage, but he taps into Amos in this beautiful speech. And in this particular part that I read here, he taps into Jesus. He knows that if things are going to change in the world, that you can't fight fire with fire, you can't fight force with force, that the only way to overcome evil with good in the world is to fight it with love, to fight it with soul force, to stay disciplined and to have dignity, and to not drink from the cup of bitterness and hatred. And I just share that with us today because I was so moved when I listened to it earlier that I thought I would share it with you. That is what Jesus Christ himself calls us to do, is to not drink from a cup of bitterness and hatred, which is so easy to do in the polarized world in which we live. But to become a real force for good is that we fight with love. And what fighting with love looks like is not fighting at all. But it's giving back good when evil is what we receive. Doesn't make sense. It's not what we feel like doing, but it's the only way forward. Dr. King knew it, Jesus knew it, and hopefully on our better days, you and I can know it and practice it too. Hope you're doing well. We love you. Hope you'll join us Wednesday evening. I'll be on a conversation with my friend Stencil Quarles where we talk about our partnership and ministry with New Bethel. And I hope you'll join us. I'll send out a link on Wednesday so you'll have access to that. Thank you for all that you do and for the ways that you show love to the world. Keep doing it and let us know how we can help you show love to the world and how we can pray for you and support you. Take care. God bless. Have a great week.